Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Hey. Welcome. Sorry about no camera again today. I can't get out there as it's too hot. Speaking of which, I must apologise if I cut this live stream short today, as, like I said, it's very hot here. So yeah, today we're going to be looking at isometric. Now, I should explain first how to get the grid, I suppose. So, on your normal screen, like we are now, you go to, it's kind of like a windscreen wiper, and you click the little down arrow, and there's an option called grid. So you go onto that, but it's not in isometric. So you go back into it again, and then go down, and there's something called grid settings at the bottom. Go into that one, and then up the top there'll be grid mode, and the first option is isometric there. There's all sorts of different things, but we're interested in isometric. Now I do two things to make it easier for yourself. One is go into this color and make it an easier color to see, like this one. And the other thing is, because I'm showing you, it'll be easier if I increase this. Normally I'd leave it as is if I'm working on it, but like I said, not that far. Yeah, this is so you can see it better. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. Just looking at the screen, I might have to change the color slightly. Do something that you can see even better. Something like that. There we go. So that's how you get the grid. The next thing that you want after you've done the grid is to make sure snapping's on. That's this little icon that looks like a magnet up here. So when it goes black, that is on. The other thing is, in this little down arrow here, there is snapping settings or options, and this is the options that I use. Hey Nikki, hi Bella. Glad to see you all here. So yeah, this is my snapping settings. I don't know whether you want to copy them or something. If I take a screenshot of it, I'll put it in the club. Just like that. And yeah, I'll put that in the club. But this is so that you can get it to snap too much if you like. So this is the lower, just lower down, so it doesn't get annoying, because you can literally snap it to everything. So this will just snap to basically the grid, if you like. Now then, what do we do with said grid is the thing. So if you go and get a shape like this, and you just make the shape, it'll just make the shape like normal. I'll just change the color of it so it's not too annoying. If I can do it, there we go. Just wondering what, oh yeah, you can see the grid thread. That is right. I was like thinking it was opacity, but it's not. You can't see the grid thread. But as you can see, that shape is not in the isometric, not yet anyway. So what we do is make sure it's selected in the layers, like so. And then in Affinity, Affinity does this really good up to other programs. There is, in this menu here with the three dots, you can select the, I think they call it a plane. You can select the plane you want. So, I don't know, for example, let's go front. Now, for some reason, it shuts it back down. I hope they solve that in the future. So we open the menu back up, and as we got that rectangle selected, we can go something called fit in plane, and it will automatically turn it into that plane. So we can then still move it and everything, but it will be in that plane. Now, you know these snapping options? You'll see they will snap to this grid pretty nicely. And then all you do is you can duplicate that. So we got 2. You can go back into here, select another plane, then go back in again, and just say fit to that plane instead. So there it is. As you can see. So I'll just snap these 2 together. If I can do it right. That way. I'll make it a different color so you can see it. Make it red. Make sure it's the underneath option. Oh no. I'll put it inside. I'll put it inside. There we go. Now we can see that there's 2 distinct sides to this. I'm just trying to think, what have I done? Oh, it's because it's gone the other way to what I normally do. So let me just fix that 2 seconds, because it's confusing me. So, you know the square is this way. I would like it the other way. So, trying to think how you'd want to come in this one. In that one. I'm getting really confused with myself now. What we want is that to slant the other way. Kind of like that red one. In fact, are they just... Yeah, they are, aren't they? Just the other way around, that's what it is. So, let me put that back how it was. I think it's one more. So yeah, now we got that shape. Sorry for the confusion. I was like thinking that ain't right. So what we'd then do is copy that again. So we got this one here. And then go into the last plane, which is the top. Then go back into the menu and say fit to plane. And it'll give you the top of the cube. I'll make that a different color as well. And there we go. At this point, you could turn off the grid. Now, a quick way to turn the grid on and off, if you just tap. Sorry, my voice is terrible. Yeah, if you just tap the windscreen wiper, it'll turn it on and off. So that's how to get it off. And there's your cube. And that is perfectly in isometric, that cube. So we basically turned a cube like this, like a straight on, to isometric. So let's do some things that are a bit more complicated than that. And let's start with this one. So there's our cube again. It gets in different shades pink. And then this one on the right is rounded corners. You might think, how do we do rounded corners? So let's make it. Let's put that grid back on so we can see. And you can see I'm slightly off the grid. Oh, don't want to do that. Put it on move tool. Get it back into the grid. No. Anyways. If I make a square first, like this. Just like that. And then you go up to these 3 lines, go into this menu, and then you fit planes. So let's do it the other way this time so it doesn't confuse me. So I'll start with the side plane and say fit to plane. So that is more like it. Nope. And make sure you're on move tool. So yeah, that is much more like it. I'll just snap that in. So we've got a 4x4 cube there, or square there. And I'm just going to go in and duplicate that. So we got 2 of them. Then I'm going to go to these 3 lines, go into the front plane, and fit to plane. So we got the other side. Let's make that a bit darker so you can see it better. So there's the 2. Now we're just gonna duplicate that cube again, this one, and we're gonna go into these things, the menu, and hit top plane and fit to plane. So we got this bit of the cube, and I'll just change the color on that one again so that you can see easier. So there we go. That's kind of like what the pink cube is right now. So I'll just move that underneath the pink cube. So there we go. Just turn off the grid so you can see it better. So there is the basically like the pink cube, but it's a green version. So what we want to do now, we'll just group these a minute. I'll get it out of that group. Okay, so now it's just this, and it'll all move together. So that's cool. What I'm going to do is duplicate this, so that we got 2, so we can see them side by side. And then I'm going to get pen tool now. Let's put the grid back on so we can see we're still off. So I'll just move that back in so we're on the lines. There we go. Or at least one is. Let me get the other one in line as well. Just there. Yeah, it's only to make it easier for snapping later. You're following along. Okay. I'm just having a look at, yeah, no 0 drop frames. You can hear me all good. You can see me, not see me, but you can see what I'm doing. Following it well, good. So yeah, let's do this. So we go to pen tool now, and we actually go all the way around the shape. So one there, 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 and there. Oh, I missed. So I'll just pull that one back. So now we've got a shape that's basically all the way around. I'll just turn off the grid because it's a bit annoying. So you got the basic shape of the cube, but in pen form, yeah. Now in the group, there's these 3 panels that make it up. I'm gonna drag these into the cube we just made, like the pen cube, and then we can get rid of that group. We don't need it. So what you're ending up with now is something called curve, but it's still kind of like a group, but it's called curve. Now the advantage you can use with curve is that you've got the nodes, so you could use something like corner tool, select all the nodes, and then as you move them in, it'll make it rounded, like so. In fact, let's just deselect that one. So now the outsides of the cube are all round, which is great. But how do we get this middle point in the middle to go round? So let's go back to our panels. And we'll select them all. We'll go to FX. So I always put on scale with object. You don't have to. And then Gaussian blur. Tap on the words Gaussian blur so that we get our menu on the left here. And then as we drag it up, you'll see what happens. It suddenly becomes rounded all over. You see, yeah, you see what you're doing. It makes sense. So there we go. So that is pretty much an exact copy of the one above, but rounded. That's clever, thanks. Took me a while to work that one out, but when I did, I was like, aha, because you want that soft look sometimes, and this is only one way of doing it. I'll show you the original way of doing it that I found, and then I was like, actually, this is better because you see the top panel, that one also gets rounded, whereas in this next example it won't. We'll just turn all those layers off and bring out this one. Now you can see there's not got the top panel because it doesn't work like that. What size stroke did you use on the pen? Did I use the stroke, did I? I didn't think I did. Just go along. Yeah, don't know about that one actually. That one might have. But yeah, basically didn't use a stroke altogether. That's it. Yeah, so it actually looks better without a stroke. So yeah, the answer would be no stroke if possible. So like I was saying, so we got our panels. Let's just make it again and put the grid back on and move these into place. They're not gonna go. Typical. I must have done them at 100 instead of 200. So let's enlarge this one slightly. It's not gonna work. Okay, let's just rebuild it. So let's get our cube as usual over here. And what we're gonna do is make sure that cube's selected. I'll just pull out of that group. There we go. So up to the 3 lines, into side plane, back into the 3 lines, and fit to plane. So it gives you the same as what that blue one is. And then we'll just put it into the grid a bit better. So right there. I usually like having a 4x4. That's it there. And then I'll just duplicate that. So we end up with 2. And I'll go into these 3 lines, into the front plane, and into fit to plane. And there we go. So then you get those 2 there. Now I'm just going to make these into a group, and I'm going to duplicate the whole thing so that we can see the difference. Just here. God, my 3 is like terrible. Right. Now with these 2, no, those 2. So we just selected both those panels, yeah. And what I'm going to do is in Move Tool, go to Boolean up here, and just say Add. So that is actually 2 planes, but 1 object. So it's a bit strange to get used to, but it's actually on 1 plane and the other plane, but it is 1 object. So if I go to the nodes, you'll see it's on that one and it's on that one, but it is just 1 object. Yeah. Now again, because it's a curve, what we can do is go up to corner tool, select the 2 middle nodes, and curve them. And now if I come away from the object altogether, let's go to these, you'll see that this is curved, but it's curved on the middle of two axes as such. Much easier. It kind of is, but it's like it only works in certain occasions. Like if you're doing a bar or something, you know what I mean? You could do that edge. And the other thing to make this one look really good is if you select it and go into the gradient tool and just bring up a normal gradient linear like so across the middle, but make the two ends the same color, and then make another node in the middle and make it a slightly lighter color, but bring in the two handles. And you might have to take grid off because that gets in the way. Just sort of like move it slightly so that we get that line right down the middle, like so. And that actually looks really good, doesn't it? So there's that one. In fact, I think on the blue one down there I didn't get it that good. Let's go back into this one and try and get that white line to make it easy like this. Yeah, I think it works better on the green. Yeah, but yeah, if you were doing like a bar or something. Does the gradient tool work with snapping? I don't know, let's try it. Let's bring our grid back. And let's just go on to another object. So let's just make a square here. And we'll make this red or something. Now, gradient. Yeah, it does. Seems to, doesn't it? Snap, snap, yep. So yeah, it does seem to snap to the points. Very cool. Just delete the object. Now, this is all well and cool, but let's get to making the other bits, shall we? So let's delete these ones off the screen. And now we've got our isometric grid, which is in the one of the planes right now. So I'll just smooth that back out. Put it in the top plane. Yeah. Can you see the lines? Sort of don't make sense otherwise. Just reading the chat. Yeah, I think we're good. So, what we do now, whenever we've got our grid, we'll add a pixel layer, and we'll go into pixel persona, and we'll just use, we got a normal brush, no we haven't. Is it because we've not selected the color? No. Let's use that, but now we can. Why is this not working? I'm pixel made on pixel layer. We've got a color. Oh, see that up there? This might catch your eye. See the alpha lock up here? It was on protect alpha, so it won't do anything with that on. So unlock your alpha, and now it'll draw. Gets me every time. So anyway, now with this grid, you see like this line, say here. Might have to change the color so we can see it better. Maybe the size. No. Size up here. No. Changing size. Do you have to do it that way, do you? Yeah. Okay. Let's start that again, because it's a bit messy, you know. So going back, make sure we're on our pixel layer. So, like I was saying, this line, see, just here, that wants to be the middle of your object. So, let me just show you an example. Let's go back to a different color. Don't really matter what color. Let's just choose a green for now. So let me just draw a really basic shape. Let's draw a car, shall we? The little 2-year-old drawing of a car. So you got the roof, you got the windshield, and you got the bonnet, and it goes down the front, and it comes back in, and you've got the wheel arches, and then the boot. It's back here somewhere, and then you got the wheels, etc. So this is basic car, yeah. When you're in isometric, you gotta think of the middle of that car is on that line. So you would make the front, how big do we want it? Let's say across there. So we're gonna go 4 wide. So this is the front of the car, and like I say, you want to keep everything on that line. I wouldn't usually draw that line. I'm just showing you. So the thing with isometric is you just follow the lines. So like if we go down here and then back up this line, you see it's 4 squares, and then back up. This will be the front of the car. So let's put some headlights in or something. Yeah. Then we got the bonnet, etc. So we'd have it coming back along this line, but it also matches up with this line. And this is all you do, is you just follow the lines. So this is where the bottom of the car comes back. And then the wheel arch would go, say, here. And you always stay on that line. So then you got the bottom of the car, the next wheel arch, and I've run out of room. I'll just mute that. Keeping it on that line so we can see. Just like that. And then going back. So yeah. Now obviously there's parts that you can't see and parts you can see. So with these wheels, for example, not only would you have to draw the actual wheel itself, but you could see part of the tyre. So you'd follow this part of the line, this blue line here. So as long as you're in that same direction, doesn't have to be on the line. But yeah, you'd have to draw that bit in like that. And then draw around. And my drawing is terrible. But you get the point. So you'd actually see sort of like part of the wheel, if you like. It's like the same as like windscreens. You'd go point to point, point to point, and then straight across. Like I said, it doesn't have to be on the line, but as long as it's in that same direction as the line. I don't know why the grid's disappeared. That's very weird. It's like as I zoom in. Why is that not coming on? Come on, Grid, what are you doing? That's really odd. Like, where's my grid gone? Typical that I'm in a live. Let's get back to grid settings. It's on isometric. So, and show grid is on. Affinity, come on. Not too sure what's happened there. Oh, I seen it for like a second then. They also still got issues with their Zoom. There. And that is just a standard. So we'll put it back in isometric. Very strange way of playing out Affinity. So the roof part would actually come. Oh, no, it's not toward now. Come on. Back here. And back here. To make it easy, we'll go along that line. But you see that is what I'm getting at. It's like that would be half. It's I might explain it very well. It's like half of that, like lines in the middle of the vehicle or whatever it is you're drawing. Another way to do this is what was pointed out by Bella. If we go back into designer and we go to a shape, say a rectangle, and we just pull our shape out. We don't want that stroke. Go to side pane, and we'll go to fit to plane. So there we go. And what you could do is put that on that line, so it's exactly half of the car, and then draw half the car and fill in the other half like that. Do you see? Hope that makes sense. So it's like half and half. I don't know whether is this coming across right. Let me show you another example of this. So to get rid of these, put it back into the top plane. Just so we get that grid back. Now, let's go with another shape. Let's go with a cog. Let's just draw it normally for now, like this. We'll have it like that. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the side plane, put it as fit to plane like this. So as you can see, it automatically puts it on the plane for you, which is awesome. A lot of programs don't do that, so you have to have like a drawing grid, which helps you do that, and then you'd have to be like manually you have to do that, and it'd be annoying. But with the Affinity, it just does that. It's very cool. So anyway, now that we know it's on the grid, just put it better in the grid. I think that's on every bit. So I'm just going to duplicate that and make sure we select the bottom one, and then just bring it over. I'll change the color. I didn't want a streak, so about there, I think. And then what you do is join up these to get a 3D shape. So and just trying to think, you could either make it yourself or make that shape into it. So let's do that in a minute. So what I was on about is you can grab its own nodes and force it to make the shape. You'd have to go very old sharps. But you see what I mean? It's like you could do that really easy. Like make the shape for you. Just remember that you have to put it back to sharp afterwards. That wasn't really done. That was quite easy. You see how powerful Affinity can be when they try. Select the whole thing. Put it into sharp. We don't want the middle ones as sharp. If you can't select it without selecting else like this, there is a way. I've probably showed you before. You start selecting, hold 3 fingers down, and then reselect, and it allows you to draw around only the nodes that you want. And we can convert these back to smarter, but that's not done a very good job. Just gonna be these. Yeah, I think that's about right. But yeah, you see, that's like a lassie. Yeah, basically like a lassie. It's just yeah, if you want to select like these middle ones and you don't want to select the outside ones, there's things like that that lets you do. Still not quite happy with this how it's turned out. I'm just trying to fix it. It's very difficult. It should just snapped into place and it didn't. I'm trying to follow these lines, you see. Okay, I'll go on. You see these handlebars? They follow the blue lines. I think that's how we'll fix this. That's not too bad. It'll do. But yeah, you get the idea that you can make pretty much any shape into a 3D shape. Just turn the grid off and select the whole thing. There we go. So that it looks a bit better. And there we go. Hopefully you can see that now. It's not perfect. You could spend more time on it, but that is the general thing. Also, remember with isometric, you can only see so far, like from the first object to the last object. So the nodes beyond here, they're all over the place, but you can't see them. You know what I mean? This helps you out so much with isometric. You can like lag it so much because you can just like put those force it to make sense when you look at it like in isometric. I know what I'm about. Gosh, so hard. So, was there anything anyone wants me to go back through? So I have to call it early on this one because it's so hot. But yeah, if there's anything anyone wants me to go through, not sure what's going on with their guides. It's been a bit weird. So if the lines aren't right like this, just put it back into the top plane and see it sort out the lines. So that's something to watch out for. If it doesn't look quite right, it probably isn't Affinity. But yeah, I don't know what was going on with that zoom. Very strange. It seems right now. You explained well. Thank you very much. I had so much planned, but it's like, guys, and I will quickly show you. I've started making some isometric here. I was starting to do walls, and then I went to steampunk. I like steampunk. So we got this little boat here, well, airship if you like, and I'll just move it onto the grid. So again, get it half and half on the line, and that's where it makes more sense, if you know what I mean. And that's how you get that sort of angle, if you like. But yeah, there will be many others. Many others. But you can make this really complicated. And just remember that, like this propeller, behind that propeller, all the nades and things are totally messed up. But you can't see it on this angle, so it's like, it's all good. Can we look at the grid setup? So, and what the divisions and gutter sections do. Oh, other sections. Right. I'll just get rid of that one again. So, let's go into this menu. So you've already put the grid on. Then you're going to go to grid settings down here. Now, the first one is show grid or not. This actually happens when you just tap this as well. So it's kind of like the same button, if you like. Then you can go through all the different modes. So it depends whether you want, there's like diametric or oblique or like triangles and all sorts of, like Affinity's really gone this down on this. But the one we're interested in is isometric. Now, the lower the spacing, the more detail you can get in there. So I did 200 just to show you. But like the standard would be 100. And as you can see, there's a lot more. And this is what I normally use. And you can get more detail, or at least it gives you more lines. You know, like I was drawing that car slightly off the line. So this would probably give you the lines to make that car perfect. Procreate does this really well. So I'll show you an example. You know, on pixel layer and in pixel mode, then we'll just use a red pencil or something. So you see, like, hit now, I can draw anywhere on this thing. So in Procreate, what they do when you choose the isometric grid like this, they actually snap it so your pencil only draws on that line, and it'll be perfectly along that line. Or if you started, say, this line, it would draw perfectly along that line. I really like that feature. That's the only thing about Affinity. It doesn't sort of snap like that. It lets you draw where you want. But yeah, Procreate is really good for that. It's like snaps exactly where you started. So it's literally like, if you start this way, it'll snap this way. If you start that way, it'll snap that way. It's like really clever. And obviously it won't be as wobbly as either, it'll be perfect line. But my drawing's no good, as you know. And now what was I? Back into designer. So I was going through these options when I was on top. So this here at the moment, this square, is what they call one division. You could put the divisions up, you don't need to, but you'll see as I increase it. Let's choose 4. If I zoom in, you know what I was saying about a 4 square? Inside of the main square, there'll be the 4 square. So it's kind of like subdivide, if you like. So it gives you even more sort of like lines to draw along, if you like. But you'll be like better off with 1. Gutter, I don't know actually. I've never used it. Let's see what it does. So it's on 0 at the moment. Oh. It seems to be the space between the squares. I never noticed that before. What you would use that for, I'm not sure either. And then you got the colour of what the guide is. So you can have it red or any colour you like. The aspect one, or the link one, usually when you've got 2 options, but I didn't see the second option. The second option beyond that one. I don't know whether it means it links something along here. Let's try putting that to 200. See what happens. No, it doesn't either. Very strange. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Where a link would be. But it's enabled by default, so we just leave it. The gutter, but I'm just reading chat. The gutter between the squares make the grid look better for creating build. Oh yeah, that's a good point. That is what you'd use it for. So if you're making streets or something, each one of these would say be a tower block, and the gap between would be the street. So yeah, that is a good point, Nikki. So that is what you'd use gutter for, I guess. And then why is there another colour here? This also seems to change the grid, which is like, why? Not too sure. It's like you can change the grid for this one and the other one. Don't know. Now what is this eye? See this eye here? If you zoom right in, it's probably not on, but you see these little squares? These are actually the pixels. Let's change the pixel color as well so you can see it better. You can see that better. I don't know whether you can see it. I'm trying to see it on my screen. I can't see it. Is there any color that looks better? No. No, damn it. No, I can't get it to show. They're so tiny. So, you know, when they say raster, and what the raster is made up of, like, little squares, that is where the raster would be. So, you gotta really zoom in to see it anyway. But if you had something that was raster, you'd be able to see, oh yeah, it's like those squares make it up. So that's what that one does, and that is to pick the color of that. The pixel grid. I think that is it for that tool. And like I said, I'll put my snapping settings on the screen again. You can just about see it. I couldn't see it. It's like so small. Perfect idea, Nikki. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, our lights just flashed. I wonder if we're gonna have a storm, hopefully, because it's so hot. But like I say, I'll put this screen into the Telegram in the club so that we can all do that. And I'll wait till I've got a bit more of these, and I'll put these assets in the club as well. So I think that's everything for today. Like I say, sure is a short one because it's just too hot. So yeah, thanks for coming, everyone, and I will see you in the next one.